Woke up this morning with the weight on my chest, trying to give my family my very best. Bills on the table, prayers in the air, trying to find peace in a world that don't care. I've been working, I've been hurting, I've been trying to get it right, but I still believe God's with me in the middle of the fight. Faith, money, mental health.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool, man. All right, we're back, right? Aaron, it's been a little bit. We don't have Mark here with us. He might show up. He might not show up. He had something come up, and you guys might see that at times. I might not be here. Aaron might not be here. You know, we get busy, but our goal is to get going, and we wanted to get another episode and just start talking about stuff. I feel like there's a lot been going on in the last 3 weeks, whether it's in finances, things we have coming for our veteran community, everything. But man, we've had some good Bible studies the last few weeks, right? That's been huge. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll probably get into it at some point. We were gonna film last week, right? And I was dealing with the loss of beloved pets, so that was hard, that was difficult, and getting through that with the family. And if anyone here has ever lost a pet, my heart's with you. It's tough, but we just we're getting through it by remembering all the good memories, right? How he was when he was healthy and all that. But yeah, man, it's been a lot, and we've had, we need to start doing what we talk about is we get on the phone with each other. We need to start recording our conversation so we can have mini podcast episodes we can upload. And for those that watch on YouTube, we are on Spotify now, and we're on the Apple podcast store. So yeah, man, we're here. I think it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks, longer than we'd want it to be. But man, what's been going on with Aaron?
Man. Man, oh man. I don't know, bro. Probably a lot this past week. Probably even 2 weeks. I think it's just been a lot of personal growth, bro. Personal growth challenges that, hopefully the audience will become privy to in some form or fashion, because like we definitely walk the talk. And this past week, it has been a challenging one spiritually. Work-wise, man, bro, I feel like I've just been killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been killing it at work, and I'll say it like this. I'm killing it at work because my intention is to do my work the way I would think the Lord would expect me to do it. You're going to probably get a lot of that coming out lately. I'm just big on it. I think there's a major shift happening in the world, and there's a lot of darkness out there from what I see. And not to make this negative, it's just calling it is what it is. But there's a lot of darkness out there. There's a savage, and there's people who just don't know how to act with each other, whether it's on the road, whether it's in person, the workspace. I hear a lot of negativity, and I choose to be me, one, but I choose to be a positive energy in my environment. And not that I think I'm this person who can just make people get along and all that, but I think the first part of change, invoking change, is to be the change yourself. So this last week, it's kind of been that way. There's been a lot of stress with some of my fellow coworkers, and a lot of tempers, you could say, kind of, because of that stress. But I get into my workspace, man, and it's just like I don't even feel like I'm working, and I know I am. I'm like I recently started at this place that I work for in low voltage industry, even though simultaneously, working the business. And so it took a little bit of getting used to the process, getting used to what tools I have, and then like making my own tools because I needed something that'd be a little more efficient. And so it took a little while for that process, but now I've got it dialed in where it's manageable and it just feels like a flow. And even though there's hard aspects of my job, I still feel like I'm not working, even though I am. And I think it's just because I'm in a meditative state,
Mm.
where I wake up in the morning time, usually listen to something positive. It's scripture, sometimes it's not scripture, but something positive to start my day be. And um, it's just been working for me. I'm like taking it in and applying it and just going with it, bro. So I don't know if that really summarizes how my week's been. I think we'll get into it in development, but that's kind of like the high level, as far as work goes.
Yeah, no, you have been busy. Every time I think we've talked this week, you've just been more busy, right? The thing you like I gotta go or this, or I hear like a million people talking to you or whatever the case might be, and like we do a lot of these episodes, we come together and we don't even know what we're gonna talk about half the time, and I think that makes it more genuine. It also makes it to where sometimes you guys are probably like, what am I listening to? Like, are they gonna do something? If you were here before I pressed record, I made a really funny joke about Aaron Skittles, but it didn't get picked up. It didn't get picked up, so I can't get canceled. I can't get fired from my 9 to 5 or anything because it's no one heard it, and I can't figure out the inbound settings. So Aaron looks like a ghost. He looks like Patrick Swayze. About to be teaming up with Whoopi Goldberg, right? Like you're gonna be in the
You were
corner
firing
doing
them
like
off.
you're gonna be doing the clay pot, right? Oh man.
You were firing them off. What about you, though, B? I mean, we can probably still get into it a little bit. I think I know we have substance today,
Yeah.
just because we're both part of a Kingdom men's group and other challenges that we've had.
Yeah.
So, what about you? How's your past either week, 2 weeks, or a month been?
And so we've had a lot of conversations on and off the last few weeks. 2 weeks ago, last week, Monday, Tuesday, probably Wednesday, man, I mean that Saturday, Sunday. So anyone that's lost a pet or anybody even if it's a person and their time is coming, it's really close, like maybe it's days or it's months or whatever, you have the anticipatory grief that they call it, where it's like, I had days beforehand where you're getting emotional, you're crying or whatever, but doing your best to make those last days the best. And then there is the actual grief that starts to come after they've passed, right? And that's a whole story, man. And I would actually at some point might even just get into the story of that dog. He meant so much to me and my family and others, right? That came across this path, like the vet that we go to, man. And I know we talked about that, but yeah, if you guys were able to be a fly on the wall for Aaron and I's conversation last week, you would have heard pure emotion, me just kind of bawling, letting it sob. And, for anybody, men, whoever listening, like it's okay to have those emotions. That's pure. It just lets you know you loved something. It was there for you. You're grieving naturally. And, uh, I see some people still, like I've come across some videos to where they're like 2 years past, right? Or, and they're still grieving. And what really changed for me during that time was how much, me, I reflect on things a lot. Like I keep reliving the same thing over and over and over. But as I'm doing it, I'm pulling out lessons or I'm noticing things from it. And as sad as I was and as much as it hurt to have that pain, I was also realizing, like, what am I learning from the pain? What did I learn through this process that I might not have known before? And you start being thankful for the pain that you're feeling so that you can learn the lesson, because you realize I wouldn't have learned this without the pain. Right. And that was difficult. And that's what a lot of the last week has been. On top of that, opening my eyes up to be like, hey, what do I want to do going forward? Right. To our community here, the people that listen to us, the people that have been following us on Facebook, it might not seem like a lot. We're a little over 200 followers right now. And it's been a few months. It's all organic. It's awesome to see the slow build, right? I'm going to be excited when we hit 500, 1,000, because we're building a community here. And even if only one person listens to this, right? If they get anything from it, if all you get from it is the ability to increase your attention span because you're just listening to us and nothing else, that's a plus. I take that as a plus. But it's real life, and people lose somebody or a pet or anything like every single day. People are going with it. Don't feel alone. But again, like, I go back to the last few weeks, and it's been more than a few weeks. I've been building up on this for a few months now. Like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? But some plans I was seeing for the future, right? And how do I take care of those by still making sure my family's being provided for, right? That's been some big stuff. But yeah, that's been the last couple weeks for me, and it's looking at something I have going on now and removing that potentially to free up those 40, 50 hours a week to really go in on what I feel like I'm being called to do and been called to do. And it's doing that in a way to where ensuring my family won't take any hits on the financial side, being a sole provider, right? And there might be a lot of people out there like, man, I feel like I should be doing this or doing that. And don't quit the 9 to 5 before you're able to, right? But man, get something going on the side if that's how you're truly feeling. And you start working on those skills, you're going to keep sharpening that sword, and eventually you're going to be able to step off on your own and get going. And I know I'm going in a lot of different directions right now, but the last 2 weeks for me have been reflection, grief, thankfulness, and like all the emotions you could probably feel just going through. And then, continuing to push through on the direction I feel like I'm supposed to be going. But yeah, man, that's what the last couple weeks or so have been for me over here.
You know what, B? I appreciate you sharing that, bro. I think I want to kind of curb this podcast a little bit.
Curb it.
Where it's just you and me, bro. Let's conversate. Like, we're not talking to the audience at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're fly on the wall on what we talk about. So
like that.
I remember I just wanted to say, bro, like I did see what you were going through with Bobo. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, bro. Give me one second.
Yeah, do your thing. And now it's just me and you guys, and quite frankly, I'm not doing good Trump impersonations anymore. I used to be really good at them, and now I'm not as good. But no, it's just me. We're here. I don't know how to do solo podcasts. This is where I feel like I need a podium. I should just be giving a speech right now. I desperately need a haircut. I don't point at my beard as I say that. If you don't know, there's a barber out here where I'm at, and she is great, and I tell her to make me look like great value Chris Hemsworth.
You said great value, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know. She's a great barber, and I'm like, I need you to make me look like great value Chris Hemsworth, because I don't look like Chris Hemsworth, but you've seen the before and after picture I've done before. If I'm lucky until I lose like 40 more pounds, if I can get her to make me look like Fat Thor, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. I'll be good with Fat Thor.
My apologies.
Even though he was fat, he did that. That hammer came. He was still worthy, bro.
He was
you know what? You take that. Even when you're down and you feel like you're at your lowest, you can still be worthy, man. Yeah,
100%,
man.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna put it out there on this podcast. Someone was knocking at my door, And I'm like, oh, I'm in a
Did you like?
podcast. I'm in a
Did you order some
podcast.
chicken?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I just.
That's all right though. I did have barbecue
Yeah.
chicken though. You know,
Did
I
you?
fit the
I had
I fit the stereotype.
I had some earlier too, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Usually, because I'm supposed to eat chicken with no seasoning on it.
I hope not.
So yeah. That's.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always
So
thought it'd be funny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
cut
you
you
good.
off. I just want to
You
say
good.
this. I always thought we always start thinking of like goofy videos we should make, but we know like sometimes with this cancel culture, they might take it too seriously.
Yeah.
And before we jump down, I thought it'd be funny if there was like a video where you like were in my house and you were like, "Hey man, it's right if I cook some food or something." Yeah, bro, go for it. And you're like, "Oh, where's your seasoning cabinet?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's right there." And you open it, and it's just like salt and pepper sitting in there, like nothing else. Salt and pepper, maybe a can of Sprite, and you're like, "What's this can of Sprite doing here?" I'm like, "Man, Sprite's spicy, bro. You don't know that Sprite's spicy?" Yeah, bread.
Dude, you're hilarious, bro. You're hilarious. I enjoy talking to you all the time. We really do come off the cuff on some other stuff. Oh, B. So, Claude.
Is that
Fable.
what you were going to talk about? Because you were like, "Hey, we're going to come off the cuff," and you were like talking about something, and then the door knock happened.
Yeah, I'm past that, bro.
Right.
That moment left. I'm just trying to really focus in on just talking to you and
That's cool,
ignore
man.
the audience. So Claude Fable, I wanted to actually post about this because I feel like more and more people are coming on to Claude, but not nearly the numbers that it could be there, developing and building
Okay.
things on their own. But did you end up using that?
Claude Fable?
Yeah,
I
Fable.
used it the last time they had it, and they took it away, and I haven't had time to get into it the last few days.
I didn't either, but you know Marcus put something. Oh, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. Marcus put something together with Claude Fable. It looks like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it's for training. It's for training. You spin a wheel,
Yeah.
like he almost went gaming on it, and it was like it was really cool. I'm gonna send it to you, or resend it to you. He probably shared it
And
out, but
he did it with his $20 a month plan.
yeah, and just took advantage of Fable. Yeah.
You guys gotta be careful out there. You got that $20 a month plan. You're gonna be out of tokens sometimes after you ask it one thing. Like you better be careful if it's on Fable.
Especially on Fable. Yeah, they did open it again and then closed it on the 7th. I think it was open for literally a week. And when I was talking to Marcus, it was during that time. And they closed on the 7th. Oh, again?
Yeah, it's there to the 12th now.
Oh, I'm going on there now. Now I'm going on there.
Go get your Fable on. In fact, I should pop it up while we're I can't because I got OBS open.
So, it might pull the resources, right?
It won't pull the resources. It'll be good as long as I'm not streaming video. But I haven't gotten smart enough to figure out when I open up OBS and it takes over my laptop monitor, how to get it off so I can get to. I mean, I guess I could go into my start key, bro. I just apparently just forgot how computers work. It's all good, man.
Hey, so I got something for you, B.
Yeah, go for it.
I think it might be what I was actually trying to work on earlier. I don't know if one of my lights are about to go out. Is that my battery quick?
You got like a little portable battery or something?
Yeah, because I ran out of USB ports on my little terminal. I have a whole bunch of stuff connected to my computer, and I can't afford to take any of them off right now. So it has limited power. But so remember I was going through something with the whole. Well, okay, I'll tell you this. This is what I was probably going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been struggling with this whole having too big of a heart thing. It's really been raining on my mind, raining a lot.
When you say that, too big of a heart, what do you like? Is there a certain part of your life that you feel like you're just doing too much?
I think in all areas, bro. I think in all areas, I'm just doing too much, and it's still me, right? But I'm just doing too much. And why I feel like it, because I take myself as someone who has a bag of skills, bro. Not everything, but just about anything that you could be wanting to start or work on or do, I probably touched on and have some knowledge, and I'm always there to try to help people. Um, and what I've come to realize is that you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So we just slid over real life, right? Real time. Just
I slid us over. I slid us, yeah, man. I slid us over, and I made us a little bigger. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Mark messaged the group chat. He just got more things that popped up tonight, so he's not going to make it. So I just kind of, you know, because everyone listened, I thought he was going to have enough time to jump on. I wanted to keep the spot open, so I just plug him in real quick. But if he's not going to make it, we're just there, which is unfortunate because, you know, tonight was the night that he was going to go over how he got over his struggles of being attracted to men. And I just wish that he was here to, you know, talk about that for himself. But, you know, for him, it was tough. He used to work on pool tables often. And, you know, we had to get him out of that industry because, like, he would be fine. He'd get a pool table call. And next thing you know, he's holding a pool stick and a couple balls. And he's like, oh, no. You know, he's having like PTSD flashbacks of being in the trenches back in the day of, you know, so
oh,
I just wish he was here. I wish he was here to, you know, just talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
so I'm sure the next podcast he's gonna pick it up, bro.
Oh yeah. Hopefully he listens to it. He might never know that was said. And for those of you listening, man, like Mark, he was a Marine veteran. I was a Navy veteran. There's a lot of like, we just got humor like that. Like a lot, like I'll make a lot of crayon jokes to him, right? Usually he wants to make that joke to me because that's what Navy jokes are all about. And I hope everyone listening knows that. And just to zoom out real quick, and then we get back in like our conversation. When we make jokes like this, it's all lighthearted, bro. There ain't nothing serious about it. We think it's funny. It's supposed to be funny. If you are offended by it, I do apologize, but this might just not be the space for you, right? And that's okay. Like, it's community. We have some tough skin here, but we genuinely all care about each other. Like, I make that joke, but like, I'm gonna have Mark's back forever. Like, I'm gonna have Aaron's back forever, right?
Likewise.
If you are actually like, you're out there and you're like, hey, bro, I like pool sticks and cue balls. Hey, bro, all you.
Do you, boo? You, boo?
All you, man. Like that's like none of this is any like I just want to like to address that because I feel like sometimes we make jokes like that and it will turn into like even like Dave Chappelle, man. He's a great comedian. I'm not saying I'm not Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's hilarious, right? I'm just a white dude, right? The closest I just get happy when people call me white chocolate, right? I'm just like, wow, that's a compliment. By the way, no one calls me that. I call myself that and pretend other people call me that. Like. That's just how it is. So one day a man can dream. A man can dream. You know what I might do? I might have to go like grab my wife's phone one day and go reprogram myself to like white chocolate in her phone without her knowing, and she'll just know like next time I call her. That'll make me feel good about myself. And maybe change my profile picture to like the Oreo Hershey bar or the cookies and cream Hershey bar where it's like mostly white and it's got a little bit couple chocolate pieces in there. And for those of you wondering, those chocolate pieces are representing me using seasoning on my food. So yeah. Just I would love
you went off right now. That was so funny to me. That would be funny.
I have one thing that's probably going to come out more as we get more comfortable. Aaron knows I'm very unhinged. I probably could control it. I don't want to control it. I like being out of pocket, and I do my best to be respectful with it. But I have fun with it because if you're not having fun with life, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Crazy. I feel like you were saying something and I took it away. My bad, bro.
Nah, it's fluid, bro. No. Yeah, I was talking about wanting it for more for others than them wanting it for themselves. You know, I just feel like I know I'm here to make a big impact. I don't know how and where or through what methods, but I've noticed for a long time, like when you look at the timeline and there's etches in there of like events that's happened, right? Like I feel like mine's is an etch in there. And so I'm gonna keep on being me, but um I do realize I need to kind of reel that back in. I don't know if necessarily if it's off-putting because people are like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Someone actually
Yeah.
cares, right?
Yeah.
Or they just don't care enough for themselves. And really, at the end of the day, for me, I feel some type of way, right? At the end of the day, I'm like, man, dude, if people open their eyes up for what's going on around them, all this complaint about the rich and taxing them, and I have a theory about that. Not even theory, I think it's a little bit more factual, but because I'm not going to provide any type of facts, we'll call it theory. And the theory I have about that is that here we are making all this noise about getting a handout, essentially. Hey, this person makes so much money and they should give it up or give a large portion of it to the rest of us who are without. And my mindset is not like that. It's not like that. Yes, could I use some assistance? For sure. But I'd rather that person teach me what you did, like step by step. Teach me what you
Yeah.
did so I could do this for myself. Right. And I understand that there's a little separation there for my mindset and other people's mindset, especially the ones I could see in
Yeah.
the back, like complaining and
There is.
probably just skip right past us the moment they heard that.
Well,
But I don't care.
get past you, and I've been on different sides of that, right?
Yeah.
I've myself, at times, and there's things I see that are out there, and I wouldn't say should give to just to give away, right? Because I do believe people need to learn how to steward, which I think is what you're kind of getting at. And if
Mm-hmm.
you just keep giving, right, giving, people don't learn how to provide or create great wealth for themselves or whatever the case might be. They're never going to, right?
You're
But
handicapped essentially.
you are your hand, yeah. And then when I look at other parts of things, right, I'm like, people agree, I might disagree. There, to me, is no reason why everyone shouldn't have, say, healthcare available to them, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's for an affordable price or finding out a way to make sure it's accessible to everyone. For obviously nothing's free, right? You got to find a way to take care of it. But I think, as far as, and maybe that's what you're getting, maybe it's not what you're getting at, but as far as like, do I feel like someone who's worth, let's say, $1 trillion or $500 billion should have half their wealth taken away so that someone like, say, I now have, I don't know, 10 grand of whatever or 20 grand of whatever extra every year because maybe like my tax liability is less or whatever the case, and now I can afford a little bit of a nicer car when I was still able to get a vehicle, right? um, but I do believe that there should be a way to where we're taking care of your fellow man, your fellow person when it comes to healthcare, food, things of that nature, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
form of shelter. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I shouldn't have a much larger house or money in my bank account because it was taken from somebody who did what he did to gain great wealth, right? As long as he did it ethically, morally, right? And if he didn't, then that's what the court systems and all that are for, right? And all that. And I don't know if that's kind of what you were getting at, or maybe you were just saying, hey, in general, I don't think people should get any help for this or that or yada yada yada.
Oh no, not at all, B. So hopefully I didn't you know give the wrong impression of where I was going at. That was literally an example and a catalyst to where I'm going. But where I'm actually going is that we have more power to do for ourselves than we actually know. And I feel
Yeah.
like to help bring that out of people, right? Like, there's things we can do, but there's other variables that damper that. Doom scrolling for one. You know, the time you spend from the moment you get home, and some of us might call it unwinding. But if you got 6 hours of doom scrolling for unwinding, where do you spend the time to try to lift yourself up? You know, and then to the point that you were talking about those who are actually in need, because I'm not saying
Mhm.
that they shouldn't be taken care of, but I think that's where we start looking at the programs that we have,
Yeah, yeah.
revisiting them,
See,
re-auditing them, and
you can
then,
go. I just wanted to throw
leveraging
it in
them.
there. I always felt like if you, and it happens in our country, if you can go bankrupt or lose your home because of a hospital bill, right? Because of one like cancer diagnosis or a heart attack, there's something wrong with the system, right?
Hmm.
And and I think this is why I'm so happy that me and my family have policies with living benefits on them. Because if that does happen, that is not a worry of mine at all, right? Whether
Yeah,
it's cancer, heart attack, all these other things that could pop up.
right.
But for a lot of other families, it's everyday life, whether it's an illness or it's a death or whatever, and now there's a financial burden, and that's tough, right? But that's a whole nother topic, right? That is a whole nother topic. That's
Hmm.
it is a capitalist society, right? That's how
Hmm.
we do things. There are taxes, right? We clearly have taxes, which you can make. That's a whole nother conversation too, right? You hear people
Hmm.
talking about should we do tariffs, should we do this, should we do that? Um, do I think a rich person should pay a lot more in taxes just because he has a lot more money? If you would have asked me that 2 years ago, I would have said yes. But
Hmm.
if I look at it now, I don't. There has to be like some kind of happy medium. I would want, and then people aren't going to do it out of the goodness of their hearts. But I hear people say, "Well, that's where the churches should step up and start helping, or this, or that." Um, there's a lot of churches out here that as much as you see these mega churches that have this or have that or whatever. There's a lot of churches that are small town churches that don't have those kind of resources.
Yeah.
Um, so I just, and that's another topic too, where many people might tithe to a church. I tithe to myself, right? But not like that. Like I'm going to tithe to a separate account that I can make an impact with, you know,
Yes.
because this conversations we've had too and it's part of what you see out there. The church, what do they really do with the money? You see some of them with their, private jets or something. I'm like, why is there a church with a private jet? And obviously that's such a small number, but it's your big time preachers that you see out there. And hey, look, maybe I should rephrase this. There's I think what you need is some upfront honesty, right? If there's safety reasons, like, there are, I think, pastors out there that might uh, maybe have a target on their back. Unfortunately, as you get more into the topics of faith and everything, you start seeing, just like everywhere, where is there like a toxic culture, and all of a sudden there's Christians being persecuted for this, right? Or, you see you go online and all of a sudden like Islam and Christianity debates going here, and here, and you hear like, oh, this guy's going to be at this rally, but he has to wear a bulletproof vest because he's worried that someone might try and kill them. And I'm like, that's the world we live in, that someone wants to go preach the word they believe in and they have to worry about their own life being taken. And I know I'm going way off topic here, but I guess all I'm really getting at is I guess I get paranoid making sure the money's going to what it really needs to go to. I'd rather feel in my heart that I know this person needs money and like help them out. Here you go. Here's $40. Here's $100. Here's whatever. Right. Uh, but then also like we talked about Stewart. Hey, what's going on? Right. Can I put him in contact with something to help him? So I don't know what that looks like, to how to make that fair for everybody. At the end of the day, you would hope that people of great wealth or with great wealth would want to help others. Like, you and I have talked, like, as the money continues to grow, how do we also continue to help support our communities? Like, I would love to have, you know, like a housing complexes, like apartments or whatever, like in my own town, not for someone to stay permanently, but like you have someone down on your luck. Hey, here you go. You got this place for 6 months. We're going to get you in these programs and get you on your feet. And it's like, you know, so I guess that's my thing, is like, no, I don't feel like they should be taxed an absorbent amount because of what they've made, right? Um, but how do we find a way to where every citizen is at least getting basics of like healthcare and food and shelter?
I mean, I definitely think it's just reform, bro. I think honestly, it doesn't have to be any one, two, or small group of people with wealth that has to solve everybody else's problem. There should be some type of learning and some type of guideline on these resources, right? The goal is to get us off of assistance so that we're independent. We talk about so much independence online and stuff, but where are we really taking those reins of independence? Like,
Yeah.
and so if each one teach one, or each one teaches one, reaches one, do you know the compounding effect of that? It's like the pay it forward stuff. I think we talked about in different podcasts, right? It's like if I started off like it's a good day today, man, and it's not about just today because this is something which we're talking about consistency, right? It has to be a consistent desire for people to want to do for the next person, right? But if I infected, or let's say you infected me, B, and you did something positive for me, which we have plenty of those, right? And I go out and do the same thing to one or two more people, maybe even three. One of my lights went out. How many more of those two or three people went out and touched the two or three more people, right? And then it's about resources. And I feel like we kind of, in a way, do this. It's just very subtle, unspoken, right? Like, not everything necessarily is revolving around money because sometimes we're busting out service for each other. Like, hey, man, look, you handle this for me. I'll just make sure you're taking care of on the back end on what I have. So we're kind of already doing that, but how do we do that more? So then what I see is that there's still a group of people who just don't want to do the work. And it's easy to kind of group them in with people who actually need work because they're making a bad look for people who actually want help, but they're just down on their luck. And these posers who fake the funk of being like that just because they don't want to do anything. And it's a people thing as much as it is a system reform. But I think that will start the beginning of what needs to happen as a chain reaction and compounding interest of what we do for each other and help each other, then a one solution fits all, response. Because I don't think that exists. But, I'll tell you my plan, and I'm not telling my whole plan because I just know better not to put that out there before it happens. But my plan would be to do probably what some of these people are doing with charities, but I have a whole different mindset with that. It's a graduation program. You will not take advantage of the program I put together like you take advantage of the welfare system. All you have to do is say I looked, and like you're still getting it, right? And there's cheat codes to how you can stay on it, even though they claim to have like a limitation to it. And there's some people who are dead hard up, cannot seem to find anything, and especially in Southern California. I don't know about other areas, but I just read a statistic of putting out 300 applications just to try to reach 50 jobs. That's the ratio. And it's like, so, but then on the other side, where it started to be like tech and AI, they're like, we want people. So again, I kind of go back to the root. We have to want to personally develop as well as develop in our careers, develop as people, how we treat our neighbors. Like I call my coworkers at work brothers. Well, you guys are my brothers too. I think just like, hey, bro, gives a different relationship build than like, oh, that's just my coworker. That's almost dismissive, right? Oh, that's just my coworker. Dismissive. That don't really mean nothing to me. But if I call you my bro, even if it didn't really start off with that kind of relationship, I've already kind of subconsciously programmed that to you, that I care to you more than just an associate. And then when I start actually producing for you and opening those lines of communication and having your back, that bond starts to build even more and more and more, where it's like we are like family. Eventually you're going to invite me to come over to the house and have unseasoned chicken.
I was gonna tell you, man, that's the way to go. I almost wanted to ask you, like, what do you think goes further? Calling somebody bro at work, or inviting the white guy to the barbecue?
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
depends. Which statement are you trying to make?
I don't even know. I don't know what trouble I'm about to get myself into.
I feel like
So,
one is like, I like all people, come over to the house. See, I got a white friend. And I think the other one is like relationship building. You know what I'm saying? So
oh
like,
no,
it can go a
you're
lot
invited
further.
to the cookout, bro. Like, yeah, like, hey, you're invited to the cookout. You know, yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yep.
See,
I tell
I'm
people
not.
all the time, like, Marcus gave me a lifetime pass to the cookout. So he never
He
gave me
did.
that, but I tell people that. Yeah. But I'm gonna ask for one. I'm gonna want it to be like a plated card, probably made of metal, so I can put it in my wallet. Maybe have like a picture of Marcus on there, like given to by this person, get a
That is
signature,
too
so
funny.
no one can say I forged it or I made it up. I was like, yeah, look, I have a QR code to his LinkedIn, right? So people can be like, wow, it's a real person. Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. I think Marcus will laugh at hearing that. I know he does like to barbecue though. He's like, well, you haven't had my barbecue. I'll get off. I'm like, well, throw a barbecue and invite us.
Every
We'll,
time I
we'll, we'll
talk
let
to
you
him,
know
he's
how it
like,
goes.
I feel like once a week he's picking up like that Korean chicken or something like that, or Japanese fried chicken, or I forgot what he called it, but it's over in California somewhere. And when we
Yeah.
went out there, he said we were supposed to get some and we didn't. So I'm a little salty about that.
You
I'm about to California. Yeah, I don't go to California very often. It was a pretty expensive plane ticket. Could at least got some chicken.
Yeah. With seasoning, bro.
Yeah, with seasoning. And,
Uh,
and we're actually looking at I wouldn't say diet, I wouldn't say lifestyle change. Here at our house, we've already been doing stuff, right? Like I'm down 20 pounds, right?
good job, bro.
Over the last 4 months or whatever. Thanks, I appreciate it. And then what is it? But there's still a lot more to go, right? I got like at least 50, 55 pounds more that I need to drop. And I will. And I think the next step now is also, even though I've been working on eating less, I'm not always eating the best stuff, right? But my portions are better. Progress, not perfection. But now I need to look to essentially eating much cleaner, right? Because I want to get off blood pressure medication, yada yada yada, and
Yeah.
make sure I'm living as long as I can for my family, right? So
Yeah. What do you want to do, B? Like, I kind of mentioned the notch in the timeline of my short time being here. But what is it that moves you? I guess not so much what do you want to do, but what moves you that might want to lead to some type of impact that you're looking at? I know you do have one. I know probably several, but I just thought it'd be a chance for people to get to know us a little bit.
I think an area where I really see myself moving forward, and it's already been moving in this direction, but continuing, is to help veterans, right? Helping veterans, especially in an area where I struggled for many years until you learn more about it, which is navigating the VA claim process, because there's just not enough support out there. And then it's also informing them of what benefits they might qualify for and where to find those benefits, right? Or who to get in contact with this or that. I just talked to my cousin the other day, and he's someone who served for 4 years. He did 3 tours in those 4 years. And I'm not going to put all his business out there, but he's clearly struggling with stuff since he's been back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I found out recently that he's called a VSO many times. He hasn't heard anything back. And he had to navigate the VA claim process on his own, right? And I talked to him. I'm not going to throw his percent out there, but I can't determine what he should be, right? But I can get an idea of, hey man, I feel like you should have a much higher rating based on what you're telling me. We'd have to look at your medical stuff or whatever, but getting the support people need to get through that process. And I don't think you you can do it sometimes unless you know. So how do you coach somebody from start to finish so they can get what's rightfully theirs, right? Or get the support they need. But I think that's a perfect example of somebody who's reaching out, not just VSOs, but other avenues, not getting anything back, and not fighting, but doing their best to navigate a system that's supposed to have somebody in place like a VSO to assist, right? Along with other areas, right? And then we turn around and we wonder why they say 22 veterans a day commit suicide when they're out here looking for help and nobody's calling them back. And I don't know what VSO jobs look like or anything like that, or other government official jobs. I've tried the VSO stuff before, and sometimes you might get a call back, might not get a call back, could be months, right? What are the quotas, right? Is there a quota for that job? Because I remember there was a big stuff going on in the beginning, right? Everyone was getting up in arms on the Elon Musk, the cleaning up the corruption, this and that. But I see a lot of VSOs or veteran service officers. I don't know what their salaries are or whatever, but if this isn't a service that is taking care of veterans, which I feel like by more and more veterans I hear from, they're not getting the support they need. And every now and then I hear like, hey, I had a decent VSO that helped me with this or helped me with that. But and again, this is my sample size. This is my lived experience, what I'm seeing. Maybe you guys are out there and you know nothing but great VSOs, and that's awesome. Tell our veterans about them so they can get the help they need. But it just seems more and more like there's not a system in place to help it. And actually, before we got on tonight, I had almost a 2-hour conversation with my Sifu. And if you guys don't know what a Sifu means, it means Sifu, SIFU. When I say Sifu to my Syrian, I'm doing talk to text, it spells out seafood. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I don't want seafood. But we were talking today and he was like, it just came up while we were talking. And he was like, I don't know why I've never thought of this before. He's been, Kung Fu. He's been doing Kung Fu forever, right? And he was like, so many veterans need an outlet to go to in that family. And kind of, you mentioned the brother thing, right? Like, hey, you're my brother, you're my bro, you're invited to the cookout. My boy White Chocolate's going to be there, whatever, right? Like, whatever. And he was like, veteran, he was like, I would love to put something together because my Kung Fu school is not like the Western style martial arts, this, and that. If you go over into like Hong Kong or whatever, and you go to these schools, the Kung Fu schools and all that, it is not just you're there practicing Chinese Kung Fu or martial arts or whatever. You're also family. You're building a family. Like when I go to this school in Chicago, and by the way, he used to go to Hong Kong all the time to train with Ip Ching. Like he's got tons of pictures. In fact, man, that'd be a cool post. I should put something up on Faith, Money, Mental Health so you guys can like see some of this history. But the main thing I'm getting at is he was like, I would love to, maybe we can figure out a way to where we can also help veterans maybe use Wing Chun, Chinese Kung Fu, as an outlet for them. And I was like, man, that's great. Because it had me thinking, like, there are programs out there, like there's a program out there called like Guitars for Vets, right? And it's like a program where these veterans go through and they learn how to play guitar, and it's for their mental health, right? Man, I remember when I got out of service and you went from, high intensity, like you're doing this, that all the time. And all of a sudden you get out, you're going to school, right? With your post 9/11. I'm used to go. And now I'm going to school 2 times a week. And then I have 5 days a week on my hands, where now all of a sudden I'm used to going and I have an idle mind, right? Eventually I got a job and started working, but it is such a transition to go from like being on a big aircraft carrier, working all the time, being high stress, to sitting in a classroom, right? Learning some stuff, which very thankful to have had, those benefits to go to school and all that. But the transition, there's not really much in place for that transition. And that's where I feel like, as you're talking the brotherhood stuff, how do we continue to create more community, right? It's like the Kung Fu school, like if something's going on, it's not that at the school, all the students there will have each other's numbers, they have each other on Facebook. It's a support system where you can reach out to. it makes you wonder if more people had a support system they could lean on, you know, especially coming out of the service. Where does that number 22 start to go? You know, if people start getting the mental health help they need, where does that 22 a day start to go? Does it go down? If people can reach out to these professions that are supposed to be there for them to help and guide them, and they're actually getting called back and not being ghosted, does that number come down? And I like to think it does. And you talk about the reform earlier. Is that part of the reform? I don't know. Are we finding areas where the money's not being well spent and reallocating it? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna say this: with the way AI is coming along, you could probably have an AI VSO officer doing a better job than maybe some of these VSO officers, quickly responding, getting them links and information to where they need to go for stuff. Like that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, that's it.
I agree with you, bro. I think that's like, I like us digging through the layers. People could think I'm an asshole or not. I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable now to really start speaking, since everyone else can speak their truth. Well, let me speak mine. So I agree. I think there's, obviously we got exposure to what's going on with veterans. And even outside of veterans, like just ordinary people, the amount of conversations we've had post our Kingdom Men's group that we was in on last Wednesday, right? You good? Finding out, like, and I'm gonna speak just about men. I don't know if women are watching this. We'll definitely give a floor to some of this conversation about women, but I'm a man, so I'm gonna speak more about that. You good, bro? I hear you wiping your eyes.
I choked on a piece of candy,
bro, and you were just looking at me like I'm good while I'm choking.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't fully joking. I was only like partially joking.
Your voice changed
like
too.
Yeah. It was stuck in there, bro.
Yeah,
you all saw me go out. You guys almost saw me go out live.
I'm still here like me.
Yeah.
What happened to you? The thing just would be
No,
on
it was
air.
Can you imagine if we were like streaming live and I just like dropped out and they're like, someone put his address in the chat? I'd be like, Aaron, delete my browsing history. That'd be my last words. Oh man! If you go on my browsing history, I think what I'm most worried about the browsing history is like the embarrassing things I like look up because I don't understand it, and someone's gonna be like, "He searched up how to spell the word beautiful." This dumb motherfucker. I don't want to be called like that, bro. I want to go out people thinking I was somewhat intelligent.
Oh, bro, that's the guts. Woo. That's the guys. Now I forgot where I was going.
My bad, bro. My bad.
No, it's good. Your health and safety was more important than what may come up later on in conversation. Oh, I think I remember a little bit. Men needing to be around other leader type men. I think we've been going at this solo for a long time, and we're not being heard in the way we need to, or able to bounce what's going on with us off of another man who, is responsible, good steward of themselves, to help us go through or navigate some of these twists and turns that are happening in our lives. And I feel like that's been the theme over the past week for sure, including myself needing someone to talk to, and identifying who those people are, because you just can't go to anybody. I would recommend you just go to anybody who will listen to you. You need to go to trusted sources who have your best interests. Identify them first, which that's me. I mean, I know, but it's like I didn't know when I should have known. But I'm happy to have had those conversations and be part of groups where we can work on that together and not by ourselves. So That's probably like one of the big things that's been going on this week. And I'm thankful that though I don't count myself as anyone who's an expert in this particular area or these areas that we're talking about, just because that's just not what I do. But what naturally comes out, the feedback that comes back is what's amazing, And I had one brother tell me, like, dude, man, after talking to you, bro, I felt good all day. I even went and did some of these things that I normally don't do, and carrying that. And I was thankful to be a part of that. I'm learning better to not take that myself and shift that glory to the Lord, because I am actively trying to grow in my walk. And there's things that's out there, my social medias and people who know me from before, that they can always try to bring up some old shit, but that doesn't take away from the person I'm still trying to aim to be. And I know I'm making these strides. The feedback is coming back. I'm making better connections of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
So it really felt good to once be like, Lord, thank you for helping us, like, help this person, because this is going along the lines of, like, this way, mental health, like, big time for us. And a lot of that mental health is, I'll end it with this, B. A lot of the mental health is that people feel this emptiness inside of them. I don't know if it's all people. I feel like it is, but I would say men, because we're talking about men, that I believe was reserved for the Lord himself, that only he can fill. And when we're not turning to him, and I'm not going to turn this, into anything but just conversation, I realize that too. There is an emptiness, bro. There is a void inside of us that we are unhappy. And even if we have things that we enjoy, we're unhappy. And it's like, why? Why we're not happy is because we're not fulfilled. And it's not about purpose necessarily. That's another part of that puzzle. But it's because having him in our hearts and, surrendering to the plan that he has for us. And the amazing thing that happens, of like, you've worked your whole life doing these different things and you didn't even see how they were supposed to even tie together, or even that they were related to each other. And then there's this moment in time, and because you have a better relationship with the Lord, you're more spiritually advancing and growing, and then you get hit with this epiphany, like, all of this for the past 10, 15, 20 years has led up to this moment. I can actually use what I've learned, all of that. Like, I didn't even know I was developing these skills, and that's just like one part of the puzzle, but I didn't know I was developing these skills that was getting me ready for today.
Yeah. That's how I felt about the veteran path that I'm on now, right?
Yeah.
It's like everything these last few years preparing for this moment.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back. I don't know, I think it was like 5 minutes or 4 minutes. You're like, this is person I was before, when this is who I'm trying to be. And I just like think maybe the wording, right? This is like, you're like, I feel like when we say try, I do it sometimes too, but like, this is who I'm on the path to be, right?
Oh, correct.
Like
Yeah.
you're already on the path. And for the
Yeah.
listeners too, man, I feel like every time we say like, hey man, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to get myself here, and you just change that wording to I'm on the path to be here. This is where I'm going, and you say it with confidence and you believe it. That little, like, it might seem like words to you, but it's going to be a change. And I know we're coming up on like the hour mark here, and we're doing our best to kind of keep these under an hour for you guys or less. So, what I felt in the last few minutes here of us talking was, I think finding that path we're supposed to be on, right? Maybe some of those fears, or looking at, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I feel like kind of like what we've been talking about on and off, the last few weeks, or maybe I feel like it's just the other night when I was with Marcus, I pulled up scripture here, and I still have it up on my computer. And I think this has to talk about when we're worried about the path we're going to take, right? And how are we going to provide, or how are we going to do this, or is this the right decision? And we get worried about like all these fears. And if it's okay with you, if you don't mind, man, I might just end us out on this scripture and just kind of kill the recording after that if you're cool with it.
I'm good, B. I'm good.
So I think this goes what we're talking about, and you want to say Luke, 22 through 34. I'm gonna go right to Luke 24. It says, "Consider the ravens; they do not sow or reap; they have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds? Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest?" And I just want to remind you, like, if other things like the ravens are being provided for, right, to where they can get their food, their rest, whatever the case might be, and look at all the other animals, right? They're not worried about where this is coming from, where that's coming from. Man, you're good, man. You feel like you're being led a certain way, especially by Holy Spirit, or then make sure, right? Make sure you're not like getting talked to by the enemy saying some weird stuff. You probably know if it's him because it won't seem very holy. He'd be like, you should give up your career and start hanging out with big booty Latinas. That's probably not the Holy Spirit, right? That's not the Holy Spirit. He wouldn't say that. He'd probably be like, you should go help spread the word and feed the poor. So that's what you're hearing. You're like, that's probably the Holy Spirit. Or, go help the veteran community. That's great. But yeah, just my 2 cents, not speaking from experience. I've never had that, but hey,
Clear your browsing history, bro. Clear your browsing history.
Like, go out. No. That's all you'll hear. The last thing.
That's good.
Oh man, that's good. No, it's man, it's always good talking with you, and I think it's almost like, I feel like it's like phone style, right? But yeah, I appreciate you guys listening, and as soon as I can, I'll get this up on YouTube and Spotify and all that, and we'll blast it out on our socials. But hey, man, what do you say? Same time next week.
Sure, bro.
All right, man.
Miss you,
See
Mark.
later, bro.
All right.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, we miss you wherever you are. We don't know.
Yeah. All right. Bye.